You're listening to the Real Elevation podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and here we discuss topics on personal fitness, well-being, and elevation of mind and body. Join us as we help build and grow a community of real, elevated men and women. If you're currently feeling frustrated, flat, and fed up with life, or want to be a physically and mentally elevated individual, you're invited to join us each and every week here on the Real Elevation podcast. Welcome to the RE family and get ready to elevate your mind and body. Welcome to the Real Elevation podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and today we have another outstanding, informative, and elevating show for you. I'd like to take this opportunity, as always, to thank all first-time listeners for joining us here on the podcast. And be sure to stay to the end of the show, where I will be sharing all my social media links, where you can connect with me as we grow the Real Elevation podcast community. How are you today? Hope you are blessed and feeling well. Today is our 50th episode of the Real Elevation podcast journey. And because of that reason, we're going to be doing something a little different today, you'll be pleased to hear. Today, instead of sharing some powerful and insightful information, I'll be sharing my own story with you. Who am I? What drives me? And what are my hopes and dreams for this podcast? So stay tuned, because you find out a little bit more about Mike the man and what he was all about. So I suppose it's important to start off at the beginning. Now, I'm conscious that I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail, but the whole idea is, with this episode, you find a little bit more about me, what drives me, what's my interests, so you can add a little bit more understanding to what I'm about, what the podcast is all about. So it's important to start right back at the beginning. So I was born in Leeds, raised by two Jamaican parents, Esmond and Earl. And Leeds, as I still am living in there now, I moved to Sheffield for a period of time, but Leeds holds a special place in my heart. I was the middle child, some might argue the problem child, of three boys growing up. And I was always curious, and I loved to learn about things like different cultures, different ideas, and different perspectives. My family, they installed in me some values which included hard work. My dad was always a very hard worker. He would leave the house very early in the morning to go to his job. So the values included the importance of family, community, and especially from my mum, the importance of helping people. She was always a helper and giving back to others. And this is very evident and prominent in the church, because my parents were very strong Pentecostal Christians, and church was a big part of my growing up, my culture. Now, the church was great in the sense that I love the community. I love going to church to meet friends. Maybe not so sitting down and listening to the preachers preach their message every Sunday. Maybe not in the sense that service always seems to go on for so long. But I did love going to church in the sense that you'd always be an opportunity to meet up with your friends that you didn't go to school with, catch up, and you know what it's like when you're growing up. You just want to have a laugh and giggle and have fun. And it was great in that sense. But as I grew older, I did find that I wanted to break free from the constraints and the rules that the church brought. And as I got into my early teens, this caused a lot of friction between me and my father. And this went on for years, me and my dad not getting on, and to a degree where at 17, he kicked me out. I know it's harsh, but it's true. It was his way or the highway. And that was a key turning point for myself. My dad was a man of principle, obviously very old school, traditional West Indian, Jamaican upbringing. So you could say it was quite harsh what he was doing, but obviously he had his views on ways things should be, and I didn't agree, so I had to leave. So that was one key turning point in my life. Now, unfortunately, when I did leave home, although looking back, it was a good experience, I did get mixed up in the wrong crowd, and that involved mixing up with people shall we say, less desirable. So getting involved in things such as drugs and crime and all that bad stuff, you could argue stereotypical pathway of a disenchanted young black male. But thankfully I came out of that experience, partly due to the help of my then girlfriend, the mother of my eldest son, Ruben, and I kind of got myself back on track. I don't really regret that part of my life because I had learned a lot, and I mean a lot. But it was something I believe that Source, Spirit, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, intended for me to go through, because I did learn a hell of a lot of things in that part of my life. Even though it may have been a little bit dark, I did learn a lot. Do you ever wonder about upgrading your health but aren't sure where to start? Imagine having a clearer understanding of your well-being, gaining confidence through self-awareness, and even having the chance for a free one-on-one health consultation. Sounds amazing, right? Well, you're in luck. We have something special just for you. Introducing our exclusive health quiz appraisal. This quick and easy quiz is designed to help you understand your health better and identify areas where you can improve. By completing our health quiz appraisal, you'll gain empowering insights, understand your health better with personalized feedback tailored just for you, build confidence, boost your self-awareness, and take charge of your health and fitness journey. Get exclusive access. Have the opportunity to receive a free one-on-one health consultation with one of our expert holistic fitness coaches. Imagine feeling more in control of your health, having the right guidance to make positive changes the way you want. It's all possible with just a few minutes of your time. So don't wait. Head over to hendricksholistic.com/survey right now and take the first steps towards a healthier, more confident, leaner, stronger you. That's hendricksholistic.com/survey. We can't wait to see you there. Remember, your health is your wealth. Take the quiz today and start your journey to a better you. But after I came out of that, got back on some kind of straight and narrow, went to college, university, studied exercise science, and it was these years which really sparked my interest in my passion for fitness and health and the human body as a whole, and understanding how the human body and how it works. You could argue that I was never really an academic, but as you know from what I like to share on the podcast and maybe from speaking with me in person, that I still like to learn, I still like to understand things, I still like to gain a level of understanding where it just allows me to be a little bit more insightful, and that's something that's carried through with me today. I even got a job at the university where I was studying, and that really sparked my career into the health and fitness industry, where I learned some real great lessons, like always try to be your best, why communication is key, and teamwork. So I was really thankful for that experience. I then went on to work down in Sheffield for a period of time, working for a large chain. Came back to Leeds after a period of time, got a job as a manager working for a health club. And again, I made some great friends there because I was working for that company for over 9 years. Some of the friends I'm still in touch with, even though we've all grown up and gone our separate ways. And then from there, I started getting into personal training, and I ended up opening my own boutique studio. Again, it wasn't a huge success. Had to close it after 3 years. You've probably heard me share that story many times before. But again, it was a great experience, and I learned a lot of lessons from having and running my own business for 3.5, nearly 4 years. Even though we ended up closing it, still continued with the personal training, and that's something that I'm still continuing to do now, sharing that message, helping people improve themselves, get themselves in a position where they can really maximize their well-being and their fitness potential through exercising correctly, eating right, and living better. So that gives you a little bit of an interest about me and what I've been up to. It kind of brings you up to speed to where I am now. That's something that you now know a little bit more about myself. Now, in terms of my values and things that I find important or feel are important, key values include things such as growing and growth and development. I'm always about how you can become better at something, how you can become your best. So growth is key. Family is very important to me, and having empathy and understanding of others and oneself. I was brought up in an environment where I always saw my mum helping people. If I could tell you just one story about my mum, where her mother, my grandma, died very young, and a few months after, my grandfather, for whatever reason, I'm still not 100% sure to this day, but he ended up going blind after his wife died, and it was a struggle for him, obviously. So my mum and my father as well decided to move my granddad from Sheffield, and they came to live with us in our small 3-bedroomed house. So there was 7 of us living in that house at one stage. It wasn't easy, but that just goes to show, and it instilled in me the importance of family, looking after your own and helping people when you can. And I could give you many, many other stories about how Mum is a real helper. She's a real knight in shining armour for many people. She's gone over and beyond her duty of care when it comes to helping people, and that's something that's instilled with me, and that's what I like to do. So helping people is one of my key values, as well as I mentioned, being your authentic self, growing and understanding. Personal interests outside of running the podcast, these are things that I like to do. I like to listen to live music. I like jazz music, hip-hop, vocal house, a wide and eclectic range of music, but they're, the top 3 for that I like to listen to. I like listening to self-development and reading self-development books, or listening to self-development podcasts. I also like horology. If you don't know what that is, I'll leave a link in the description. You can go check that out. One of my nuanced interests. I like watching sports, especially football and tennis, and getting out and walking in nature. So there's some of the things that I like to do. They give me joy, they give me pleasure. They also give me an opportunity to switch off, if you like, and just escape from the norms of life, which I like to do. And when it comes to things such as inspirational figures, I've often talked about a couple of these people on many occasions, because I find them deeply inspirational. They've helped me learn so much, and still continue to do on my journey. So people that have impacted my life, people such as the late Bob Proctor. I had the pleasure of meeting him at one of his seminars when he came over from the US or Canada. I think that's where his residential place of living was. Paul Chek, still studying many of his programs, which has allowed me to share some of the information and the knowledge and understanding I do with you. And someone I like to listen to on a podcast is Joseph Rodriguez, again, someone who's really inspirational and knowledgeable when it comes about self-development and the world of entrepreneurship. Other inspirational figures not had the pleasure of meeting, but again, listen to on a regular basis, people that include Minister Louis F. Farrakhan, Dr. Jody Spencer, Mayor Angelou. So these people all showed me and helped me to remember when I listened to them about the power of perseverance, having a vision, and the ability to create positive change if you adopt some of their principles and their outlooks in life. So that's the people who I find inspirational. Now, when it comes to my vision, my mission for the future, what is it that I am trying to achieve? So, as I mentioned, about a year ago now, it was my idea to start the Real Elevation podcast, and my vision was clear, and that was to create a platform that amplifies my voice and other voices, that shares stories, insights, and information that's going to help people to grow. Also, to foster a community that inspires people to live their best life. That was the mission, that was the vision, that was the insight. I wanted each episode to leave you feeling, motivated, feeling that you've got a sense of upliftment. You've been equipped with information that you can take action that's going to make a difference in your own life and the people around you. So that was what I'm trying to do, and that's what I am doing and have been doing over the past year with the podcast. And I hope you agree with me in that sense. What I'm trying to do here is to elevate and to get people to take steps, take action, to be the best they can be. The mission statement, if you could call it a mission statement, and I'm not too keen on the word mission, but I think people can relate to it to a degree. I like to use the word message. What my message is to elevate through education and inspiration, and to help people find freedom through fitness. Yeah, a lot of people in their bodies and also mentally are bound. They're hostage. So by sharing these stories, sharing these insights, sharing these interviews, sharing this information, it will allow people to find freedom and to inspire them to make changes so they can live a life much less bound and almost held hostage by their inability to not do things. So that's what I'm trying to do here. That's my message. I'm aiming to break down barriers and spark conversations and encourage people and all our listeners, including yourself, to go out and do their best. Whether it's to get that weight off that they've been struggling for years, get their strength up so they can do more in and around the house, or get rid of that pain, whether they're in pain and they can't do the things that they want to do, be more productive so they can be more profitable and more purposeful in their business or in the job. That's what I'm trying to do here over on the Real Elevation podcast. And then in terms of future goals, looking ahead, what are the plans for the show? What is it we're trying to do moving forward? Now, we're working hard in developing that online portal where you can continue to access great information, content, and courses that's going to help you elevate your understanding about yourself and get you in a position where you feel fitter, stronger, and healthier. And as I said, find freedom. We're looking to do live events, time of the year where you can come down and sit skin to skin, belly to belly, eye to eye, and talk and find inspiration. We're looking to do collaborations with other creators, other podcasts, and I'll also do more special series on specific topics. I know, looking at the detail and the data, when we have specific topics, people like to listen to those. So we're going to look to do more of those. And I'm also committed to continuously improving the content and reaching even more people, more listeners around the world. So that's my goals for the next year of the Real Elevation podcast, and I know you're going to be around to help me to achieve that. Just have you, like you have been doing to this point in time. So a real big thank you for that. Now, just before I close, I mentioned that I'd like to share my connection information. So if you're new here, you know that you can connect with me on different platforms. You'll find me on LinkedIn under the name Mike Hendricks. You'll find me on Facebook under the name Mike Bobby Hendricks. I'm that beneficial. Remember, we're on this journey together, and every story has the power to elevate, even your story. Yeah, that's what we hear about. The Real Elevation podcast is about elevation of mind and body, helping people find freedom through fitness. So even your story, as you embark upon or continue on your fitness and well-being journey, remember to share. Remember the importance of community and connection. Remember, that was one of the things that I shared with you that was installed to me from a very young age about the importance of helping people, the importance of connection, and the importance of community. So remember to don't hide your light under a bushel, shine it and share your story, because that one story can help many other people who may be just a few steps behind you as they continue or as they embark upon their fitness and their well-being journey. So if you have any questions, anything that you want to share, even reach out to me to share your story. I'd be more than open to listen to that. Obviously, you've got the contact information. I'll leave all the details, all the people that I've mentioned, they will be in the show notes so you can find out a little bit more. And remember, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify or wherever you consume your podcasts. It helps support us and it helps us grow the community so I can continue to bring you amazing content. Okay, so again, thanks for listening in. Remember, be well, be wise, be cool, be calm, and keep it real. Until next time, blessings and chi. Peace.